do an unboxing of the Zhiyun Weebill-S. Basically what this is a gimbal for shooting with a DSLR camera, which I can show you here in a minute. So basically, what you're going to get when you open the box is a black foam thing. Okay, that's it. There's some paperwork in there. That's about it. Okay, the gimbal itself comes packaged, comes with batteries, comes with a handle, which I'll show you how to use that. They're very challenging to set up, but once you have them set up, this will make all of your videos very smooth once you learn how to walk and learn how to handle it. And there's a lot of functionality. So hold on one second, and we'll start working on getting them set up. So after you pull your gimbal out of the box, you're going to notice that there are some little red buttons. Okay, all these red buttons are locks. That's what locks your gimbal when you're traveling. Then you take this weird looking thing, and what you do is at first you screw it into the base, just like so. Okay, now they do make quick release mounts that you can get. You can put a quick release here and one up here. They do make all kinds of accessories. There's a mount if you want to put a cell phone on here, if your cell phone can connect to your video camera. Or you can get a second handle and you use that when you are doing pan and tilt shots. So this part opens up and that becomes your base, and it works like a tripod. Okay, then what you have to do from there is, well, put the batteries in. So this is the battery port. Okay, it just pops out and you let go. Now these are specialized batteries. Now they tell you not to use aftermarket batteries, to buy the original logo. Hold on, I gotta figure out where the camera is. Okay, it's not focusing. Anyway, so positive up on both sides. Okay, and then you just slide this up and push it in. Okay, that is how you get the charge to the gimbal. Now it does come with a couple of different mounts. If you hold for 1 second, I will get my camera.
Look at this, guys. It's so beautiful. I think this is really steady when you go outside. Your video is gonna be really good. But you need to be strong, I think. If you have kids on your other side, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, wait till you get the camera on it. It weighs even more. So
I don't think it will work for me for now because I'm always holding Lincoln.
Yeah. So okay. So this right here, this is my camera. It's a Sony A6600.
How much when you bought it?
This is going to run you about $1,395.
Shoot.
Okay, but the thing with this camera is that you can shoot 4K. So you get really nice videos if you're doing vlogging, or if you want to do different selfies, things of that. So this actually has a flip-up screen in the back, so that when the camera's on, that you can actually see what's going on.
Wow.
Now the only thing that becomes a problem is if you put a shotgun mic up here, then you can't see it, so you have to get an offset. Okay, or if you got a gimbal, you can mount this to the gimbal. That's what this plate's for on the bottom.
Oh yeah, I can see that through there. Oh.
Okay. And then you can actually use the cell phone mount inside, and you can actually put your shotgun mount there for your
shotgun
microphone.
As in shotgun?
A shotgun mic is like a tubular mic that picks up sound from further away.
Oh, okay.
Coming towards you. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Versus a wireless setup, which I'll get here soon, so I can do voiceover when I'm filming. And then it will plug in. There's plenty of ports here on the side. You can charge it from here.
There's some like
now I've taken lots and lots of video on it, and one of the reasons why I like this camera so much is because Sony has introduced this new battery, and this battery is huge. I have shot video for a complete 8 hours on one battery, and I got just 2 additional batteries and a charger for like $50 on Amazon.
Wow.
And then I picked up 2 lenses. This is an autofocus lens. The other lens I have is it's a manual focus lens, so if I want to keep stuff blurry in the background, and just focus on the person in front of me, I can do that much easier. The lenses that I like using are wide angle, because shooting interiors of homes, it's important that you're able to catch a wide perspective, right? Because we're trying to show that room.
I haven't done if I take up pictures in my this one I haven't done in the videos editing in the real computer. I'm mostly just doing the cell phones.
Yeah, so when it comes to video editing, I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there. You can actually, if you have a computer, you can get DaVinci Resolve, and that's completely free, and it's a high-end.
What is it?
DaVinci.
I'm gonna ask you that again.
Resolve, and yeah, you guys can hit up Ramona if you don't remember the name. It's the same. It's the
you
same,
know me.
Yeah. So,
I see things wrong way.
So DaVinci Resolve is I mean, once you start figuring it out, your video skills just shoot up. And now the software I use at home is called Pinnacle Studio 23 Ultimate. Because of when I'm shooting real estate videos, or if I'm shooting my drone videos, I like having a lot more power. They use that same software in making motion pictures. So I guess the next thing I'm going to show you is how awesome it is to balance these cameras. It's a real pain in the butt. Because basically what happens if you're out of balance, then you're putting too much work. These are motors, okay? There's 3 different motors. Okay, you got 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so as you move the camera, or as you move the gimbal, if I lock that camera in a certain position, it's going to keep that camera there, so it's pointing in that same direction every time. And what it does is it smooths out the human movement. Now, the other thing, this camera, the other reason why I got this camera is because that it has internal stabilization, right? So you want to make sure that everything you're doing is smooth as butter, okay? So, all right. So the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure you have everything on your camera that you want, okay? So I have the solar cover on here. I just leave that on. I have my lens, okay? And if you look, there's little scales. I keep my camera pretty much in the same place to try to make it easier. And still, you know, but things like lens caps, you always want to take that off when you're balancing, because if you do not, you go to take it off and your camera's out of tilt. Now this is going to be a little frustrating, okay, because it is, but once you have it set up, everything's good. Is there a way to pause this? Can you pause that for a second? Okay, sorry about that brief pause, but you know, being a father, when a daughter calls, immediately you become concerned, right? All right, so remember we talked about these locks. Well, we're going to use them. And there's also some notations on here that are important to pay attention to, and I'll show you that in just a second. So the first one I'm going to unlock, that one, okay? That's my swing arm. You see the arrow? It's pointing the wrong way. You got to swing it this way, okay? Then what I'm going to do is go back on this side again. I'm going to reinstate the lock. That's going to hold that arm up. Okay, the next one I'm going to do is the lock here on the top that releases this motor. Now see, you get free swinging, right? Okay, so there are some adjustments here. You can adjust the altitude, because this camera is going to sit somewhere up here. Okay, and when you know you have it balanced, is you have no power to the gimbal, and no matter how you move it, okay, if I take it and the camera's on here and I turn it up and left, it's going to stay there. It's going to stay up and left, right? That's what the gimbal does, and that's when you know you're perfectly balanced. Because if you're out of balance, you actually apply, again, too much stress to your motors. Your gimbal won't last as long, okay? Either time-wise or battery-wise. So, next, this is called a Swiss plate. I'm going to take the Swiss plate, and we're going to slide her in. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that, because I need to loosen this here first. Right? This allows me to slide that out. So I'm going to take it out kind of far, because the body is wide on this side, and especially with this bigger battery. Okay, slides in, see, like so. all right, then you have to push a little button to get it to clear. Because if it doesn't clear that, your camera, okay, will come crashing down on the ground. I don't think you want, let's see, this setup right here with the lens and the camera is, we're looking at about 1,800 bucks right there. So trust me, you don't want that crashing. Make sure your safety lock is engaged. Okay, so you see how it's falling forward?
Yeah.
Okay, that means I'm lens heavy, right? So I'm going to slide it back until I can roughly feel like a balance. And this is the part that gets frustrating, okay? So there's a lever on this side that I'm locking the camera in place, right? And see, I can it's dropping flat. So that, I know, I need to loosen this side, okay? And I need to work this up. Should be right about there. And then I'm going to tighten this, okay? All right, still lens heavy. I'm telling you, this takes a while. And you got to do micro movements. See, I barely moved it. Now I'm battery heavy or body heavy. Same thing. Loosen this. Scoot her forward just a wee bit. Yeah, still body heavy. Slide it forward a little more. Look at that. Still just the slightest movement. Now I'm lens heavy. This is the part that takes a while, and trust me, it's frustrating. So I need to come back about 1 mark. Okay. Now do you see how, as I'm moving the camera, it's staying where it needs to be? Well, that's what you want this gimbal to do. Okay, so I'm pretty good there. I think I'm kind of comfortable with it. I'm also going to give you guys a huge some advice, okay? After you get done manhandling your equipment and you feel like you're going to throw this thing out the window, I don't really recommend it because the gimbal itself runs about $4.99, and that's without any additional accessories. Okay, now it does come, if you shoot with a bigger lens, you can always get a plate extender. It would take place of the one that I have on here. Okay, so now that that's done, okay, well, see what I didn't do? See my camera? Okay, so if you look underneath here, there's a little screw. My camera just completely went out of balance. See? Because I didn't check the plate screw to make sure that it was on secure. So if you have a coin or a screwdriver, what I carry on my keys, just a little flat-bladed screwdriver like that. So now I'm going to have to start over. Fun, fun, fun. So tighten this, make sure it's good and tight, but not too tight because you don't want to strip your screws on your body. And see, now I'm body heavy. So that means I have to go forward, right? So I'm going to loosen this again, slide forward, and then check it again. Okay, so now we got this part pretty much where we need it to be, right? See how I'm turning it? It's staying, except when I push it too hard, right? So, and there's also, before I get too far, there's also some accessories you can get for this that mount to, if you have like an autofocus drive or something like that, there's a motor kit that you can buy that actually goes around the lens, and it can actually, you can control it on the controller. But with this camera and the rate that it does autofocus, I'm not worried about it. I don't need the motor. So, but if you're using like a bigger lens, those motors are nice. It can definitely help with some things. Okay, so now that we've done this one, right? And we got the camera balanced where it needs to be. Okay, you're going to reset the lock. It's locked in place. Now we have to adjust the camera balance this way, right? So on the other side, the other lock, and you can see, all right, automatically. Okay, so that's the battery side, so it's battery heavy. So underneath that plate, kind of awkward to see, there's a lever right here. Okay, hit that lever. You're going to slide this out a little bit more, and then check your balance, right? So wherever I put this camera, I need it to stay. Okay, that's full range of the motor that way. Okay, it's looking pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo the second lock. Okay, because I want to be able to take this camera and move it up and away. Okay, down and away. Over, up. Okay, that means you have a pretty balanced camera. Now the other one is on this side. You can see that red lock. You always want to make sure you have all those off. And there you go. Okay, so it's kind of hard to see, but anyway, it's such an awkward angle. There's your power button, right? So I'm going to push it once, push and hold. There, it's booting up. Okay, so there you go. So one of the things that you always want to do is you want the motors to get used to your camera. This is a little wheel you use to control different features. I won't get into that because I don't have them all memorized yet. But you have motor, and then I'm going to do an auto tune, right? So this part's actually kind of funny. I want to try to set it up so you can see what the camera does. It vibrates like hell. There we go. Can't really see it in the video, but the camera is shaking up and down right now because what it's doing is the software in here is driving these motors to get the best balance out of the motors to make sure that we're not overdriving them. And so see now as you tilt, oh, wrong mode. That's selfie mode. That's forward mode. And see, I had it facing down, so it's going to keep facing down as you move the camera. Okay, and then there is a control function back here which you can use to steer the camera up and down. I can actually hook this up to my phone and then leave this on the tripod like it is, and I can actually move my phone and it will actually sweep the motors on the gimbal, which is pretty cool. A lot of things you can do, and if you're looking at being a content creator, or if you're wanting to shoot something, or just do stuff personally, I freaking fell in love with this gimbal second day using it. So alrighty guys, if you got any questions, ask Ramona. Later.